Hey there, bibliophiles and those raising bibliophiles. I know life is busy and you don't have time to vet everything your child reads, and you want them to read, but you don't know what to give them that is clean and supports your values. In my small way, I'm here to help with an honest mama review. So with that, today's book review is Vanished by James Ponti. So Vanished by James Ponti is the second in a series, and the first book is called Framed. And so I would definitely, if you decide that you want to go with this series, I would definitely recommend start with the first one. It'll introduce you to the characters and what's going on with Florian and how they kind of become assets of the FBI, and a lot of cool stuff in that book. So I read that book several years ago, as I mentioned in an earlier book review, from being a Battle of the Books sponsor. And so I really enjoyed Toast. It's like it's like a Toast mystery, The Theory of All Small Things. And so Framed was really good. And again, my son was looking for something to read. He likes a little mystery. I gave him that. And then lo and behold, there's extras in the book and series. And so this is Vanished, and I do have Trapped up on my to read next list, so I will go over that. But just a little bit about Vanished. So it is the second book in the Framed series, but it's also like a Toast series. Like I said, The Theory of All Small Things. The mystery centers on the details and the things that often get overlooked to solve a mystery and to understand people and situations. So this story picks up with middle school students Margaret and Florian solving another mystery as their FBI assets. And the story is told in first person through Florian Bates' point of view, which I think is great. It's very engaging for your readers. And this book actually opens near the end of the novel. So they're trying to get a hold of a boat. They're trying to find someone who's been kidnapped. And that's sort of the first chapter. And then it kind of ends with this revelation. And you pick up with that later in the novel. But then in chapter 2, we kind of head back 9 days earlier. And the reader is filled in on all the things that have led up to this moment. So Margaret and Florian have been called to go in undercover as exchange students at a prestigious Chatham County day school. If you live in the Washington, D.C. area, you would definitely love this series because there's a reference to just so many good things. The Smithsonian, just a lot of references to things that are local. And also the president's daughter attends this school. So anyhow, they're going undercover because there have been some serious pranks going on and they need help. And so, of course, adults going in from the FBI is not ideal. So they send in Margaret and Florian. And their goal is to sort of befriend some of the people who might be in the midst of these pranks and figure out what's going on. Ultimately, your options are, is it the president's daughter? Is she the one causing all of this? There's a granddaughter who's like a granddaughter of a secret society member. So is she causing it? There's a cello prodigy who's from China. Is he part of it? And there's also a school bully who you find out later his father was trying to also run for president, so that's kind of why he doesn't like the president's daughter, Lucy. And so anyhow, the story sort of unfolds and tries to figure it out. Somebody vanishes and goes missing, and they believe that this person has been kidnapped, but I'll leave you with a little intrigue. Maybe it wasn't a kidnapping. Maybe there's something else going on. So it's a clean, fun novel that's just full of adventure and mystery. It also reinforces great messages about compassion for one another, the importance of friendship, and the idea that details matter, and to stand up for yourself against bullies. So there's one scene in here that was kind of like a drop the mic moment I really enjoyed. Florian is really struggling with this bully at school, Tanner. And Margaret wants to step in, but Florian's like, no, I kind of need to deal with this on my own, which is great, right? We want our children to also stand up for people, but there's also times when you have to stand up for yourself and you can't rely on other people to defend you all the time. So Florian, and because you see things from his perspective, it's really cool because you see him sort of struggling, not really sure to do. And so the author did a great job of leaving some intrigue as you get a little further into the story. So he doesn't spill the beans all right away. But as a bit of a spoiler, you find out that Florian let Tanner copy his math test. But at the end of the whole exchange of what happens, you'd also discover that Florian was not taking the same math test that Tanner was. So, anyhow, Tanner does get in trouble. But if you want to look at my review, there's some more details specifically about the themes of friendship and the idea of toast and compassion. Those are all wonderful themes that are really developed in this book. I also think that if you are interested in getting your child to start thinking through a biblical worldview lens with some of the books that they're reading, this book series is actually really great for that because it's not super complicated. It is just a fun story. It's meant for tweens. And so it's a great way to introduce that biblical worldview worksheet that you can find on my website. But you want to have them thinking about what does align with scripture, what doesn't align with scripture, and then like what do you kind of have questions about? What are you unsure of that aligns with scripture? So it's a great way to start that thinking process with your children and your readers about that. So if you're looking for a great tween book for your readers, I definitely recommend the Framed series. The second book is Vanished. As soon as I finish Trapped, I will post another review on that one as well. So I hope you find these helpful and that it gives you a little peace of mind when you're trying to find something great for your children to read.